On today's DNVR Broncos podcast, we're breaking down more trade rumors. Are the Broncos actually looking to trade up, and who could they target? 2 reports that we need to talk about. Plus, we're talking to our guy, Brian Baldinger, to get his final prediction, and we're going to round out the show with our final mock draft. The big show starts now. Trade up and up and up. That's what some reports are saying. We're going to break it down on the DNVR Broncos podcast, live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores. And we are 2 days, 6 hours, 58 minutes away, as the draft countdown says on our screen right now. Fellas, how we doing?
I've been better.
Yeah,
when the Avs and Nuggets would win, that would be better. But I did have one great sports thing happen to me yesterday. Leeds United, baby.
Yep.
Going back to the Premier League.
Wow, they got the bump up?
Yep. Now we just got to finish this off and win this trophy again.
what's that trophy called? Is that peacock on top?
Yeah, it's the cock trophy.
The cock trophy.
Yeah.
Well, all right. The peacock is representative of Leeds.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh.
So it's them
it's
owning
not really
it.
part of the
so
trophy.
it's like
a artist's rendering.
Okay. They don't give him like a custom trophy.
No, that'd be cool.
It would be.
Henry, for the second time in a week, are you having the worst day of your life again, or are you
Third time.
No.
third time in a week? Is it trending up?
No, this isn't the worst day. It's still because I'm still just like a tiny bit sick, and so I got this green immunity boost juice.
Gotta work.
It is awful. Like I
Really?
can't
That
explain.
means
The
it's gonna
worse it
work.
tastes, the better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it is
but
for
like
you.
I don't know what exactly is in it, but there's little pictures of like celery and ginger,
Cucumber,
and
actually.
kale, cucumbers. Yes,
It looks like a slice of pizza.
that's
What?
a pineapple.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a little pineapple
Oh.
triangle.
They're trying to trick ya.
I wish there was pizza in this. Yeah, no, it's really bad, and I thought I'd be done with it like 15 minutes ago, but I still haven't gotten to my Celsius.
Just chug it. Soap in the back of the throat and put it down.
I don't know if I can. It's so bad. They didn't even add any sugar, and they're proud of it. No sugar added. It's terrible.
Wow. Well, there's probably plenty of fruit in it, right?
It's mostly vegetables.
Oh, well, yeah, then you're toast. I'm doing great, guys. Well, I guess
good.
after last night wasn't the best, but as we talked about before the show, I don't think any of us are pressing the panic button. Well, none of us are pressing the panic button on the Nuggets draft. That's why I'm okay.
The biggest issue I have is that if either series were to go to Game 7, it would land next Saturday.
Okay.
Not this coming Saturday, it's Saturday
yeah.
after that, and that's the day I leave for my wedding. And so that would just be a really stressful experience.
That would
That
be.
would be awful.
Man, we don't know the times of those games yet, do we?
No, they probably put them on top of each other because that's what they like to do.
Well, how about we just end it in 6? Both of them end it in 6 or 5 or 5.
Send it in 5. Let's
Yep,
go.
exactly. And why I'm doing great is the draft is 50 hours away. And guys, is this smokescreen season where we don't believe anything we see? Or is this, man, we're close enough where kind of the gates have opened and now the truth is coming out? Because there always is that kind of window right before the draft where we do get truth come out.
I think our friend Fran Duffy would say that this is when you start to hear real things. I don't understand why that would be. I'm not saying it's wrong, but why would you go through all this effort to put up smoke screens for months and months and months, and then a few days before the draft is real, be like, all right, fine, let's just tell them what we're doing.
Yeah. No, I still won't believe anything.
Okay.
It'll like trickle out from the top. It's like, oh, the Titans are locked in on Cam Ward or whatever, and you're like, okay, we've kind of known for forever, but that'll be kind of like the first domino to fall, and they'll kind of go 2 and then 3, but it's gonna be a while before we figure out what's gonna happen in like the teens.
Yeah, it will. And so Henry won't like this, but Ryan, you might like it since you're believing what's being put out right now. If you want to go check out, I wrote an article over at thednvr.com.
Definitely
Henry would say it's a smoke screen right now. Ryan's saying it's a smoke screen. You can check it out. It's got, I think, 5 bits of information with some more information in there. Looks like this when you pull it up. So over at thednvr.com, shout out to the graphics team for doing a great job. You hear putting a cool article or featured image on it right there. And it's kind of what I've accumulated over the past couple of months, what I think not actually what I think the Broncos do, what I'm hearing that the Broncos will do or who they like. And then there's some non-draft things in there as well. So make sure to check it out over at thednvr.com. But guys, why we're talking about is it smokescreen season or not is because there's some rumors floating around out there right now. Rumors, reports. Let's find out what they are out here, because yesterday we obviously talked about Adam Schefter, talking about how the Broncos have inquired about moving up. We broke that down.
Yep.
Then later in the day, the number 2 newsbreaker in the NFL comes out and says...
we're putting rankings out here.
Am I wrong? I think it's pretty clear. Schefter's 1.
I haven't checked the stats.
Raps 2.
Yeah.
You disagree?
Yeah, no, you're right. But you're not wrong.
You're uncomfortable with me saying it?
No, I'm just not comfortable saying it myself.
Wow, okay.
You go ahead.
I'd say it if I had a lean one way or the other.
We should just get him on and we can say, hey, Ian Rappaport, number 2 newsbreaker in the
someone
NFL.
on Reddit has to have made a spreadsheet that
Yeah.
shows who's been better.
Back in the
more
day,
accurate.
they would have. NFL Reddit's getting
All right,
bad.
anyways,
I'm
we'll
pretty-
call Ian Rappaport number 2. That's
Yeah,
fine.
in a complimentary way. You're the second best in the whole country and the
Who's
whole
3?
world, actually. Who's 3? Well, there was the guy that got in the argument with Ian Rappaport
Jordan
at Starbucks.
Schultz.
He's not, yeah.
He's probably not 3 yet, but he's trying to move his way up there. That's a good question about who's 3. But
don't like him.
Rappaport kind of followed up Adam Schefter's report by a report of his own. I don't know. Let's just have you hear it for your own ears, because I know it at least initially piqued both of your interests with who the Broncos might be looking to trade up for.
Either fact or fiction, the Broncos won't trade up from number 20 to get a receiver.
My guy Ben Albright's going to kill me on this one. I will say fiction. The Broncos will trade up, just my thoughts, not a source report, for a receiver. If McMillan goes early, Matthew Golden is the one. That makes sense. And I know that Sean Payton loves big guys, but he doesn't always. For instance, Brandon Cooks was a receiver he took in the first round, a speed guy, really stretch the defense. That's a comp here. And the Broncos have been making noise about trading up. We'll see if it actually happens, but trading up for Golden is at least something that I could see Sean Payton and the Broncos doing. They're always aggressive.
Last one, fact or fiction?
All right. That's what Ian Rappaport said. So people took this and kind of ran with it. They said Ian Rappaport's saying he's hearing the Broncos are going to trade up for Matthew Golden. No! Listen to what he said. He said, this is not a report. So I'm throwing this one out the window. It's what Ian Rappaport thinks they may do.
Why would Ian Rappaport do that, though? He never really gives his opinion on things.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. Why would he say that?
Oh, boy. Oh, I hate that guy, too. Him and Jordan Schultz and all of them. Yeah, I think it's definitely not a report. I do think if there was somebody who's educated guess, I'd be interested in.
Yeah.
He'd be, if he's number 2 in the rankings for the news breaking, he might be top 10 in terms of opinions I'm interested in.
My biggest takeaway from this is, how did no one that was a part of this realize that it was weird to say fact or fiction, the Broncos won't, and then have the answer be fiction, when it could have just been the fact or fiction, the Broncos will, and it could have just been fact.
Yeah, you don't need double negatives. Because then if I had been Ian Rappaport, I would have had to pause for a second and try to figure out what I was doing, and it would make for horrible TV.
Yes.
That's why he's the number 2
Someone
newsbreaker. He doesn't
somewhere
have
had to be
pause
doesn't
there.
that sound a little odd?
Sounds, yeah,
Fact
very
or fiction,
odd.
he won't. Yeah.
But so that's the first thing that stood out to me. So I'm taking it with a grain of salt instead of the number 2 newsbreaker with the NFL is breaking this news right there. I think that's important to point out. But then the second thing that stood out is he talked about the big dudes and said Sean Payton typically likes big guys. But then he didn't go with T-Mac. He didn't say the Broncos, if they trade up, are going to go for T-Mac. He threw out Matthew Golden's name. And the first thing that came to my mind with that was, man, this will make Ryan and Henry's dreams come true.
Sure would. I mean, It would be quite the rise for Matthew Golden for the Broncos to have to trade up to get him. Mm-hmm. But it feels like that's certainly on the table and a possibility. Hopefully they wouldn't have to go up too many spots,
Yep.
Post 15, and then you're really not giving up that much to move up. But I would be fired up about that. I mean, to me, it's the second biggest hole on the offense is wide receiver 2. And you would be drafting a guy who could certainly become a wide receiver 1, but you wouldn't need him to be right away.
Yeah. Some of us woke up this morning and made like 20 draft bets.
Love that. It's that season.
With one of them being Matthew Golden going in the top 10 with 22-1 odds.
Wow.
Which
Who
I
do
think
you-
is kind of fun.
Who do you have?
Who will do
Who's
it?
going to take him?
I mean, I think there's options all over. Like, I don't know specifically, but I mean, like, the Raiders could do it.
Yes.
They love those speed guys. They need a receiver.
Worst thing that could ever happen to Matthew Golden.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Plus, he'd have to change his name to Matthew Silver.
Wow. That'd be
a great
such
bit
a
for him,
shame.
though.
Yeah, it would.
If you get drafted by him.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably going to be, he could be anywhere. I think he could follow the first round. I think he could go in the top 10. But that's why if you're the Broncos and you really think he's that good, it would make sense to trade up because there are not many players in the draft who are tougher to predict than Matthew Golden.
I totally agree. We talked about it a year ago. Where was Matthew Golden? He was transferring into Texas with, I'm sure he would have been drafted, but I mean, nowhere close to a first round pick. In fact, just a couple of months ago in the middle of his season, he wasn't even viewed as a first round pick. So how much he's shot up. So I totally agree with you, Henry. Excuse me. I totally agree with you that his range is crazy. So I actually love 22-1 odds for top 10.
Yeah, and I just feel like the narrative around Matthew Golden, at least the negative narrative, doesn't make sense to me based off of what I saw with my eyes, which was like, oh, like he's just this speed guy and he, didn't produce enough and this, that, and the other. And it's like, I didn't watch Texas every game. I watched them most of their games at the end of the season. And every time that I watched them at the end of the season, he was making massive plays for them. And it was not even close how far away he was better than all of the other receivers on the team. And I think Quinn Ewers wholeheartedly believed that too. And so, to me, it was good route running. To me, it was great hands. To me, it was speed being secondary. And to find out that he had that was game changing.
If it's a receiver for the Broncos in the first round, no one would get me more fired up and bring more juice than Matthew Golden, including, not including Travis Hunter, but including T-Mac. No one would be more electric and excite me more than Matthew Golden.
Let's talk about Travis Hunter.
What's the talk?
I mean, the Broncos are one of the only teams looking to trade up. That report comes out yesterday. Then the report from who some would say is the number one newsbreaker in the NFL says the Giants and Browns are both fielding calls to trade up to 2 and 3. Is it possible that the Broncos are one of those teams calling and just seeing, okay, what would it take for us to get Travis Hunter?
That'd be so silly. That'd be crazy.
No.
Yeah, because I think it's 2 additional first round picks.
Sure.
Sign me up in an instant.
That's just the difference. I would be very hesitant to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you've never really seen the vision with Travis. It's okay.
You haven't.
But you're getting wide receiver 1 and cornerback 1 in the draft with 1 pick.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, even if it wasn't a Colorado Buffalo, I would subscribe to the Sean Payton theory, which is if he likes him that much,
Sure. Yeah.
that tells me something.
Yeah, I just don't.
and
There's just no way.
The number 3 newsbreaker in the NFL, Zac Stevens, reported that Sean Payton believes the Broncos Super Bowl window is open.
Yep. He
And
does.
this
That's
would
when he
be
makes.
a Super Bowl chasing move.
It's very true. For the next couple of years, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
No, you put in any thought that could happen? Any realistic thought? Or is it all
It's
dream?
Sean Payton.
Yeah.
So you are putting a little realistic
Yeah,
thought.
I think Sean
Wow.
is. If anybody's gonna do it, it'd be him. Like, I think it'd be a lot more likely if they had like the 12th pick, but because just 20 to like 3 or maybe slips to like 4 or 5, and that's where you can actually jump it. But it just seems so unlikely he's actually gonna slip that far. I mean, it's a 0.01% chance it happens, but
that would. I mean, it
I would
is
call it
chance.
a 5% chance it happens.
1 in 20. I'll give you those odds.
1 in 20. That's the amount of picks that they would have to.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a damper on this. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any chance it happens. But it would instantly be the top 5 biggest non-quarterback trade in NFL history.
Well, and that's why I don't think you would have to pay the 3rd first-round pick.
Yeah. Okay.
Because of the lack of quarterback depth in this draft. There's not going to be a bunch of teams who are saying, hey, what would it take for us to get up here? What would it take for us to get up here? And so the price, I think, would go down. I think it would be 2 first-round picks and then, some additional stuff.
Give them this year
Maybe it's a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
first and second this year and a first next year would be crazy.
Then we're talking.
That'd be a steal.
Then we're talking. And especially if he drops to 5 or something like that and the Jags and their new GM just want to get more picks.
That would be
okay, we're dreaming a little bit.
a really bad deal for the team that made it. But
it would be.
That would be awesome for the Broncos.
It would be awesome. And something's awesome for our show. We've got Brian Baldinger joining us in just a second. And we also have one more report that I think is going to excite you both a lot that I want to get to after I give a shout out to our friends over at Monster Jam, where I kid you not, Monster Jam is something for the ages of 2 to 100. Anyone can have an awesome time at Monster Jam, whether it's for a birthday party like I went to when I was back in middle school for myself, or whether it's for a group of guys or gals going on a mom or dad's night out. It is just such a blast. You get to see the world's most popular trucks like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Sparkle Smash.
That's mine.
And
That's
more.
mine.
You're a Sparkle Smash TM sort of guy?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, Sparkle Smash. It's,
3rd best in the game.
yeah, the 3rd best. I mean, no one can beat Schefter or Rappaport, but Sparkle Smash is right there at 3. And again, with this, you can get a pit party going on, and you can also do the post-event driver meet and greet, and you can get tickets for Monster Jam on April 26th at Empower Field. Click the link in our description for tickets.
Saturday.
April 26th, Monster Jam hits Empower Field.
Let's go.
Check them out. Link in our description.
Also, shout out to Empire Today if you're looking for floors.
Empire Today could handle a monster truck driving on their floors.
I was just about to ask
Yeah.
you that.
Yeah.
What about 2? Or like when they like run into each other or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The floor, you wouldn't even notice that anything happened there.
I believe it.
Wow. People are saying that Monster Jam is using Empire floors.
Maybe for their
Wow.
ramps.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow, that makes you think. Empire Today, great floors, great company. They've been the leaders in flooring for so long. I think everybody grew up hearing the jingle. They do a better job in the box stores because all they think about is floors. They aren't worried about 2x4s or any of that other stuff.
2x4s.
2x4s. If you too want to buy floors, go to Empire Today.
Wow.
You can schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code DNVR. Yes, you heard right. A $350 discount with code DNVR. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday/DNVR for full details.
All right, let's go out and get our guy Brian Baldinger on the show. Baldy, we are so close to the draft. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, Zach. I'm at NFL Network here. Got a bunch of draft shows to do today. Going to be talking draft basically 24/7 all the way through the week. So I'm in a good place right now, man. I'm ready to stand and deliver and kind of, expand upon what I've learned over the last 2.5 months.
I love it. And we look to get that information from you. Looking forward to it. And Baldy, one of the things that has been really circulating over the past 24 hours in Broncos country is some national people saying that the Broncos are inquiring about moving up in the draft. Knowing Sean Payton the way you do, is this something that you would expect the Broncos to actually do in this draft?
Well, you're only moving up for a particular player or players. And so, if they see a player, like let's just say Omarion Hampton, let's just say Ashton Jeanty goes in the top 10. It's possible, it's predicted. Omarion Hampton is the second best back in this draft. I mean, he is a workhorse back. I mean, if he would drop, into the teens, I could see the Broncos trading up to get him. They need a running back. He's exactly what they need. He's a great pass catcher. Like, he's a good fit. And he's talented. So, I could see them trading up if he starts to not drop, but if he starts to climb, into the middle teens, I can see Denver trading up. They don't have a lot of assets to trade with, but I could see them going to secure maybe the second best running back in this draft.
That would be a lot of fun. I think there are a bunch of guys who could, I think, potentially be worth trading up for. And I look at some of those guys who maybe could slip, like a Tetero McMillan. Great player. I think there's a real chance that he goes in the top 6 or 7 picks. But if for some reason he's still there at 11 or 12, maybe you trade up. I wonder if you think there's any chance that Tyler Warren could slip. Like, if Tyler Warren winds up sitting there at pick 12, maybe the Broncos could make a move?
I don't see it happening, honestly.
Okay.
I in just talking to people I've talked to, like, honestly, I can't see him getting past the Jets at 7. Like, they're in love with him. Yes, if he got to 12 or 13, I could see them making a move. I just can't see any scenario where this guy that's just going to add toughness. He's going to help in your passing game. He's going to help your quarterback. He's going to help in your run game. I just can't. He's going to help in your short yards or goal line situations the way he did at Penn State. Like, I just can't see him getting there. But if he did for whatever reason, I don't know how, but if he did, yes, I could certainly see them making a move.
The guy we just talked about here is Matthew Golden. I feel like, Henry said he might be the hardest prospect to predict where they're going to go in the whole draft. What do you think of Matthew Golden as a wide receiver, and what would you think his fit would be like with the Broncos?
Well, I mean, he's just a blazer. You run a 4.29 40, but he's more than just fast. Like, he's in as breaks fast. He does everything fast. He separates fast. He runs away from anybody trying to trail him or catch him. He runs away from those people fast. Like, he's my number one wide receiver on the board. I've got him at McMillan. I've got him over, Luther Burden. I got him over Agbuka. Like, he's my number one wide receiver. I can't imagine, like, Xavier Worthy was a great pick for Kansas City last year. I think his future is bright. But in some ways, I know he's not quite as fast as Xavier Worthy, but he's fast enough. Like, in some ways, he's a more complete player than Xavier Worthy at this point.
Baldy, I want to talk about a guy that I really like, Trevion Henderson, who people say he's a great runner. People say he's explosive, a playmaker. He can catch the ball out of the backfield and is also a good pass protector. Why? I guess he's now rising up boards, but what am I missing with him? Why isn't he viewed as potentially the second best back in this draft as well?
Well, he's not 220 pounds like the way Hampton is. So he's not as big. He's not as powerful. But he's everything that you just said. In the right offense, he could be dynamic. Maybe it's just because of his running back, and people just don't want to put 3 running backs in the first round. Like, we haven't seen that in a while. So he's getting knocked down because he's a running back. But he is a star. And in the right offense, he could be another star at the NFL level. He's got everything you need. He's got workhorse ability. He's got breakaway speed. All the things you just said are true, whether it's a great receiver, blocker. Like, he's got all the things you need to be a number one running back in this business.
I'm curious what you think of Mason Graham. He's a guy we talked about yesterday a little bit. Almost definitely won't be a Broncos pick just because he's going to be off the board too soon. But where do you see him falling in the draft? Is there a chance that he slips outside of the top 5?
Well, it's a very deep draft for defensive linemen, especially at defensive tackle. And it kind of starts with Mason. I like him. I like everything about him. I just don't think he's an elite player. Like, I don't think he's Jalen Carter. I don't think he's that type of player where he can just command double teams every play. And if you don't, he's just going to be on top of your quarterback chasing him. He doesn't have that kind of speed. He doesn't have that type of pass rush at this point. Now, he's a fundamentally very sound player. He's been well coached. He's very clean. You don't have to worry about Mason Graham. But he doesn't have what looks to be like a great NFL body. The way some of these guys look, he's not a chiseled frame, all that stuff. He doesn't have elite size, but he's a very clean player. So people are just putting him with Jacksonville because it's a position of need. But I can see him falling past Jacksonville for sure. I like a bigger defensive tackle than what Mason Graham is. And I think that coaching matters. So some of these guys, even his teammate, Kenneth Grant, if he gets coached up well, he's just a much bigger frame. I think he's, if he lowers his pad level and gets coached up a little bit, like he could become a better pro player than Mason Graham at this point.
Baldy, last year we see 6 quarterbacks go in the top 12, and most of the teams there kind of just staying home, taking their quarterback and going on. With only probably 2 first-round quarterbacks going this year, what impact do you think that could have on the draft, and do you think that could maybe cause for more movement in the first round?
Well, last year with those 6 going in the top 12, the first defensive player was Laiatu Latu by Indianapolis with pick 16. We've never seen anything like that, where a defensive player isn't drafted to the 16th pick. So, that was a big part of it. There was a lot of good defensive players in that draft. Obviously Jared Verse came after that at 19 or something. He's the defensive, rookie of the year. So this year, we're not to see anything like that. This is a defensive line heavy draft. We could see 8 to 10 go in the first round. So the fact that I don't know if teams are going to trade into the top 10 for a quarterback like they did last year, or you could get the surprise pick like Michael Penix Jr. going 8 to Atlanta. I don't think we're going to see anything like that this year. So we could see a run on defensive linemen that could start pretty fast and pretty early in this draft.
So, Baldy, I need to ask this question for my friend RK. Where do you think Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders are going to go? Shedeur probably the most talked about and maybe the most researched person in this draft 2 days out. Where do you think he and Travis go?
Well, I was at Shedeur's Pro Day on April 4th in Boulder. And I just felt like, everybody from Jimmy Haslam, the owner, to Andrew Berry, the GM, to Kevin Stefanski, they were all huddled up all day. I felt like they fell in love with Travis Hunter that day. And just watching him run, catch passes, being around him, talking to Dion. I think they fell in love with Travis. I don't think he gets past Cleveland at 2. I know there's reports out there right now that Cleveland could be entertaining, phone calls. They're not going to find Travis Hunter in any draft. I think he's going to be an immediate star in his business. Every kid's going to want his jersey, not just in Cleveland, but around the league. I just think he's going to have that kind of impact. Now, the Giants at 3, I just can't imagine them passing an Abdul Carter. They passed a Micah Parsons 5 years ago for Kadarius Toney. It was disaster. They can't do this again. So then where does that put Shedeur? I don't know. I honestly don't. I think he's a first-round talent. I don't think he's as good as Bo Nix coming out. I don't think he has the athletic ability or arm strength or the amount of work in 2 big conferences against good teams that Shedeur has. But I don't know. Are the Raiders interested? Are the Rams interested? I think there's a team in the first round that's going to be interested. I really don't know where he's going to go, though.
Baldy, to follow up and final one for you here. We were kind of living in dream world earlier today talking about what if the Broncos just got crazy and traded 2 additional first-round picks or a first-round pick and 2 seconds to move up to go get Travis Hunter. Would he be worth a massive haul like that? Let's say 20 and 2 additional firsts. Because you said it. He's a guy that not only is going to be loved by a fan base, but also you can play him on both sides of the field.
And he's got to be in the right place, I think, with an experienced coach like Sean. Sean was there for the whole pro day. Now, I'm sure he came out, he's, 45-minute drive, whatever, to Boulder. Let's go see what's going on. I'm sure that was part of it, but I think part of it was, what would Sean Payton do with a guy like Travis Hunter? How would he use him? That would be a fun experiment because I think he would maximize him without breaking him down. And so you put him with Patrick Surtain on defense. All right, that's entertaining by itself. They have 2 guys that can match up with your number 1 wide receiver and would probably fight to go match up, against, Lad McConkey, whoever it is, Xavier Worthy, whatever team they're playing, there'd be a battle to see who's going to line up. And then on offense, oh my gosh, that would just be so much fun. Would it be worth X amount of number 1s? I would do it just because I want to see it happen.
Let's go.
I love it. I love it. Baldy, actually, I lied. Final one. What are the Broncos going to do in the first round on Thursday?
Man, I've got Omarion Hampton circled. But Colston Loveland is right behind them. Like, this kid is a tight end that Sean Payton would covet. Size matters. Like, his size, his route running and what he could do over the middle of the field in the red zone if Hampton isn't there. I just think it can be – I don't know if he could be Alvin Kamara, because he's not like Kamara, but the New Orleans Saints, their future changed the day they drafted Kamara, in that 2017 draft. Like, I feel like this is a guy they've been searching for a while now, but I think he could be the answer.
All right, I love it, Baldy. That was awesome. Thank you for the information. Enjoy the draft this week, and looking forward to breaking down the Broncos draft class with you next week.
Let's do it, Zach. You got it, man. Thank you.
Man, love it. Love having our guy, Brian Baldinger, on, who is so locked in to the draft. Was Baldy wearing a medal?
I didn't see that.
No, I wasn't.
It looked like it was like a medal around his neck, like #1 draft guy or something. I don't know.
#1 newsbreaker in the NFL.
You know what? Maybe he should be there. Yeah, he's our #1 guy. And speaking of #1, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Bet365, where there are so many options, just like newsbreakers, so many newsbreakers. Bet365 is your #1 one-stop shop. You go here, you are going to get everything you need because they're all about never ordinary. And right now, they have every single draft bet that you could bet right now. I mean, Henry, you said you put 20 draft bets in this morning?
I've got so many.
There are so many. Over at Bet365, too. In fact, right now, you can bet on the Broncos' first position drafted. And over there right now, they've got running back as a heavy favorite, -150. But Baldy also threw out a potential tight end, Colston Loveland. If you want to do that, +900. You can get in on that right now over at Bet365. And the thing that makes that great is if you use the code DNVR365 over at Bet365, deposit $10, place a $5 bet, you're going to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, which then you can use on these draft bets and, of course, on Nuggets playoffs, on Avs playoffs, everything. So make sure to check out our friends over at Bet365 and use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. And, of course, you must be 21 and older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, once help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Shady Rays. I don't know about you guys, but I wear my Shady Rays way more in the summer than the winter.
Totally.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
So it's officially Shady Rays season.
Yep, it is.
Because I had like pretty bad allergies this morning. That tells me the real spring is here.
Yeah.
Cover those eyes up.
Yes, and exactly. I gotta cover up these, like puffy allergy eyes I got going on with some Shady Rays. Just one of the many amazing things about Shady Rays, and maybe the best part about Shady Rays is if you lose or break your sunglasses, because I've been known to lose a couple pairs in a golf cart. Just like put them in that front little pocket of the golf cart. Never see them again.
No.
Well, the good thing about Shady Rays is they'll send those right back to me for free. Because they want me to stay in Shady Rays. They want me to keep these eyes protected. So right now, head over to Shady Rays and use code DNVR for 35% off polarized sunglasses. You can try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
Woo, that is a lot. Shout out to everyone tuning in. Hit us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. And just want to remind you about our draft party this Thursday at Stoney's. Go to thednvr.com/events to get your tickets. And, of course, become a diehard to read my article. Henry's got articles there. We've got Fran just dropped another article. And then we're going to have so much content over at thednvr.com throughout the weekend. And then, of course, you get this for the entire year at less than half price right now in our Die Hard sale. So click the link in our description to sign up. You also get a free t-shirt. You get so many benefits to this, and it also supports us, so we appreciate it as well. And if you become a Die Hard, whether it's during this show or later today, make sure to drop that in the Toyota chat tomorrow, today, during the draft, because we want to give you a shout out to everyone that joins us. We want to welcome you into the family. So shout out to everyone who is a diehard and will become a diehard. We appreciate you. One more thing before we dive into our mock draft. This from Albert Breer this morning. Until
Andrew Breer.
Andrew Breer, yes, of course, friend of the program,
yes.
Andrew Breer. He said, until yesterday, the Denver Broncos were the only team I could find that was actively exploring a trade-up. This sounds a little more aggressive than Adam Schefter's report yesterday. And he goes on, where I think you guys are really going to like this. If the Broncos move up, it would likely be for an elite skill player such as Boise State's Ashton Jeanty. And Jeanty is one player I have circled as a trade-up target in a class that doesn't have many of those.
10 to 1 odds. I almost did it.
For the Broncos to pick Jeanty.
Yeah. Because the thing is, like, if they do it, I'm making the Super Bowl bet at the moment.
Yep.
Like,
That's what I
that
was
is the
thinking,
final
too.
piece. Did you see the Players Tribune thing he wrote?
Yeah, the piece of paper.
Yeah, I should probably find it because I referenced it. But, like, that guy takes you over the top. All of a sudden, you have a good offense and a good defense. Who knows? Like, if one really pops, then you could be on your way.
Yeah. I mean, that would send the fan base into a frenzy.
Oh, my, as it should.
Yes. And that jersey might pass Bo Nix's jersey sales.
What number does he wear? Because he wears 2. His Instagram is Deuce, so he has taken 2 and ran with it.
22.
Okay, yeah, there
One
you go.
better than LaDainian Tomlinson.
Double Deuce. Wow.
That's what I
Doesn't
hear.
someone have 22?
Brandon Jones
Yeah,
does.
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about that with the earrings. That was a whole mess up on our
Oh,
part.
correct. Yes.
What
we were
did we
very
do?
confused.
I guess I'll tell the story. So we have the very cool earrings that we sell here at the
I
bar
love
from
it.
Gate
Yes,
Kept.
they are
Tori
great.
does an amazing job with them. And obviously earrings come in pairs.
Yeah, famously.
But there's a pair of earrings over there that says 22. And I was like, 22? Why? Brandon Jones? And like Henry and I were like going back and forth,
It's
and
like,
then
wow,
it finally
'cause
hit us
it's
like,
like
oh,
you-
each earring is a 2
Oh,
for
yeah,
PS2.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And then Henry famously pointed out, yeah, his name isn't Bobo because that was right next
Exactly.
to it.
Oh,
His name
yeah,
is Bo.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a good day. I found so Ashton Jeanty wrote a letter to NFL GMs in the Players Tribune and ended it with this: I've taken the long way. I'm done with that way. If you pick me, it's simple. I'm coming to your franchise to do what Saquon and the Eagles just did. I'm coming to win big soon. It's tackle football. You know what I'm saying? I draft the guy they can't tackle. Thank you for your time, Ashton Jeanty. Yep, that's the answer right there.
Yeah.
10
I
to
mean,
1.
if we draft Ashton Jeanty, we're going to have the draft the guy they can't tackle shirt out real quick.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, man, and I could.
They can't tackle him.
10 to 1, I don't think those are
They
long
being
enough
the Mountain
odds.
West, but yes.
I think the NFL
And
can.
I mean, here's
just-
something.
And Oregon.
And Penn State, he was breaking tackles too. Third most tackles he broke all season. And
was a
I
joke.
would say if you go back and watch Omarion Hampton though, he broke a lot of Wake Forest tackles, broke a lot of Louisville tackles, broke a lot of Duke tackles. I come away from watching Jeanty and Hampton saying like, quality of competition. I kind of have more concerns with Hampton. Because like
What?
you're consistently playing ACC teams. The ACC sucked last year.
That is crazy.
The ACC sucked last year. Jeanty played Penn State and Oregon.
Yeah, it's
Like
true.
you watch those 2 games, there go your concerns. There aren't games like that for North Carolina last
What
year.
were his numbers against Penn State? I remember that Oregon. I mean, he went off against
It
Oregon.
was like 30 carries for 93 yards or something.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
2 fumbles, right?
Yeah.
That was the biggest concern for me his entire season was just 2 fumbles against the best team he played.
I saw that, and I was in the top 10. I wouldn't draft him for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta let him slip.
No, you
Honestly,
let him
top
talk.
19.
Best.
Yeah,
Totally.
I totally agree. Okay, let's dive into our mock draft. Will?
Wait. Do we have time? I just want to address a couple things that Baldy said.
Yeah.
One, made me feel so good about my Matthew Golden, number 1, my guys pick.
Yep. Made me feel really good about my top 10 Matthew Golden bet.
Yes.
Yep.
I forget what number 2 was.
He made me feel really good about Colson Loveland. What I'm said over at thednvr.com that the Broncos really like him. He agrees.
Baldy's officially our Omarion Hampton guy on the show.
He is.
Yep.
Yep. We're gonna lean on him next week potentially.
And then number 3, and I'll keep this brief. He mentioned that passing on Micah Parsons for Kadarius Toney was disastrous for the Giants. I'll just call my shot. Passing on Shador Sanders for Abdul Carter will end up being disastrous for the Giants.
Wow. I love it. That's a good shot to call. I had to jump in there and kind of wrap the interview up with a couple questions myself, but I had to ask about the conversation we were having with Shador and Travis.
Yeah.
And Mason Graham.
I thought Baldy put out one of the...
Yeah, he was right on that.
Minus 180
Oh, that was the other one. He said exactly what we said.
Exactly.
Mason Graham.
Minus 180 for Mason Graham to go over 5.5. I think that might be next.
He had a great video on Shador, by the way, about how well he played under pressure. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the better breakdowns I've seen, which obviously Baldy's breakdowns the best.
Yep, they are.
Number one breakdowns guy in the NFL.
No, without a doubt. And he does it even without like professional equipment.
I don't even know who number 2 is, to be honest.
No, it's him.
Wow.
It's breakdown Baldy's.
Yeah.
Baldy's breakdowns.
Yeah. Have you seen the Baldy's breakdowns when he does it in the ocean?
No.
Yeah, he will just talk about ball when he's middle of the ocean off of the Florida coast.
Sick.
Bring his phone out. Okay, let's jump in to our final mock draft. Who hasn't had the Broncos pick yet?
Henry.
Oh.
So what pick is that then? What pick does he need
Pick
to
20.
be? What? Yes. Thank you. What pick do you need to start with?
18 would be 3.
Oh, God. This is gonna. How do we not know this by now?
So 19 would be 1.
I think
so I
it's-
need to go second.
You need to go second.
Let's
Ryan,
hope that
that's
works
right.
that way.
21.
You have not gone first.
Okay, let me get to my simulator
I
here.
believe.
Hopefully this one isn't ass.
Let's simulate.
So Ryan
Am I
is
allowed to say
first.
yeah, you
yeah.
can say ass all you want.
Henry's
ass,
second.
ass.
I think you can say the.
Nothing
you
happened.
Can say the S word too. Well,
I checked. You can't.
Okay, what is
can't?
happening?
Yeah.
wow.
No, because I really wanted to.
I mean, I
shoot
shouldn't need
word?
this.
So I Googled it. Yeah.
Wow.
I want to pick for all
Can't
teams
say the
at
F word
normal
either.
speed.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
The F word makes
And
a
no
lot
form
of
of it
sense.
either. MF, none of it.
Well, you can
Player
say
pool.
MF.
Well, yes. You just can't say the actual
Well,
word.
of course, if you
Does
can't
everybody
say
have their
F, you can't
simulators
say
up?
MF. No, we're waiting on Ryan. That's
Oh,
why
he
I'm
still
buying
doesn't?
time
I know,
and
me
talking
too, but I
to you.
thought we
was trying
had to
buy
be done by
time.
now.
All right, with the number 1 overall pick, the
Wait.
Tennessee Titans.
Are we doing it what we think they'll do?
Yes.
Put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
Also, should we have a rule? You have to say the name of their GM before you make the pick.
No.
Definitely
Good. That
not.
would be really
No.
hard.
Right now, the Titans GM is Ryan Koenigsberg, and he selects Cameron Ward out of Miami.
you put
Actually,
yourself
if it was
in-
me, I wouldn't have done that. But
No.
Right.
if I was them, I would.
Yeah.
because
Well, that's why I
apparently
had to
that's-
clarify before this pick of what you would do or what they would do.
Start
Okay,
draft.
what they're doing. So, Henry, now you're up.
Number 2, let's just go Travis Hunter.
Especially after what Baldy said.
Yeah, and he's like minus 1,000.
Man, what are the odds for Shador right here? Because the Giants are on the clock with the 3rd pick. And I just heard what Ryan said. And they've been doing so much research on him. I'm going to say that the Giants pass up on Shador. And they try to trade back later. So I'm going to say Abdul Carter. Not what they should do. I just think what they might do. I don't know.
Okay.
What would you have done? What do you think they'll do? You think they'll go Shador?
Yes.
Okay. I was like 51-49. Okay, now Ryan, you're on the clock with the Patriots.
The Patriots select Will Campbell. 3 was
Abdul
Carter.
Yeah, I mean, that one makes a ton of sense. You have a really good quarterback. You need to protect him.
You know, I made this bet this morning, and it's kind of a long shot, but I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go T-Mac at number 5 to the Jags.
Whoa.
Okay.
Bad pick. I mean,
No, I think it's a great pick.
Not off of you.
I like him better than Mason Graham. I think it's him or Jeanty.
Well, I
guess
hate this
maybe
now
Membo?
because I was hoping that the Jags were going to draft Ashton Jeanty so that he wouldn't fall to the Raiders. But he
Oh.
falls to the Raiders here at 6, and it's an easy pick. The card's in. It's Ashton Jeanty at 6 to the Raiders.
That puts the Jets on the clock, and they are going to select Tyler Warren.
Yep. You listen to Baldy.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Panthers. I feel like no one has talked about the Panthers
Yeah.
in this draft at all.
Why would
Probably
anyone talk
fitting.
about the Panthers ever?
Yeah,
That's a
exactly.
really good
Yeah,
point.
Very fitting.
Oh, boy. They have Derek Brown, Bobby Brown III, and Tershawn Wharton, who they just signed. Gave him a lot of money. They're going Mason Graham anyway. Yep, we're doing it.
Mason
I
Graham.
kind of hate it. I
Almost
think that
felt-
slide should have continued.
Yeah, no, I kind of like that, though. I think that's a good pick. So now you got the Saints on the board a week ago. This pick was Shedeur. I saw Schefter yesterday, I think, say like he would be shocked if the Saints go with Shedeur now. So guess I'm going to follow that line of thinking, and I have no idea where they go here. They're going to go Will Johnson, get their replacement for Marcus Lattimore, who they traded last year.
Sure. That puts the...
I don't disagree with in their spot. I would take Shedeur.
That puts the Bears on the clock.
Are they going to take Shedeur?
And at this point, someone traded up for Shedeur. But, that's not available to me here. They go with Membu.
Okay. I've got the 49ers.
Keep solidifying that offensive line for Caleb Williams.
Yep, solid.
Yeah, I'm tempted to give him Walter Nolan. You know what? We're going to do what we talked about doing. Give him Shedeur.
This would be so sick.
Whoa.
He's the perfect fit for that offense.
This would be so
He's perfect.
sick. I don't know how it hasn't been talked about more. I don't know.
I agree.
Like, we've heard a lot of teams, the people talking about, the Steelers, that would be such a great fit. No way. Number 1 and number 2 best fits are San Francisco and LA.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep. Both just offensive masterminds at head coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, Purdy to the Steelers?
Sure.
For what? For a second?
It would be a fleecing if you could get a second-round pick for Brock Purdy.
Yeah, man. And you get your quarterback in the process. Okay. I like that, Henry. Bold pick. The Cowboys are on the clock here, and they're going to go... I'm sorry, guys.
Yep.
They're going to go Matthew Golden here. Take him off the board. So, Hank, your top 10 almost hits.
Wow.
The Dolphins are on the clock, right?
Oh, is that me?
Mm-hmm.
What do the Dolphins need? They need offensive line. It's pretty early for Banks now.
It's pretty early.
They need defensive tackle.
There's one there.
I'm going to say that they go... It's a little bit of a reach for them, but they don't care. They really like the upside. They take Walter Nolan.
Yep.
Okay.
I like that for them.
Yep. It is tough to imagine Mike McDaniel signing off on a defensive tackle.
True.
Yeah, it's true.
Mike McDaniel's really lost his aura.
He really has. He's
Like, when you
aura-free.
said that, I was like, it's not up to him. 2 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, they got to go the offense here for McDaniel.
Yep.
Yep.
Henry, the
this
Colts
is
at
tough.
14.
I'll take... Oh, they did get Cam Bynum. Give me Jalen Walker.
Okay.
Mm.
Try to
Yeah.
recreate the Shaq Leonard.
I know, which is why I was kind of tempted with Jihad Campbell too.
Mm-hmm.
But I was torn and decided, yeah, we'll go.
I would have
Walker.
taken Loveland there if I were them.
Yeah.
Well, if I were
There's a
picking
chance they
in their
will.
shoes.
I would have gone there as well. Falcons on the clock at 15. Colson Love's on the clock. Do they just double up at tight end? No, they're not going to do
Wow.
that. They're going to go on the defensive side, and they're going to go Malachi Stark, safety out of Georgia. Justin Simmons no longer a Falcon, so they plug that hole with first-round safety.
Does he have a team yet? He still doesn't, right?
No.
That brings up the Cardinals.
That's tough.
And the Cardinals select Shamar Stewart.
All right.
Okay. The Bengals.
That would probably make Johnny Venerables happy.
Would it?
I think so. I think he's been pounding the table for defensive line. Well, front seven, guys.
Nice.
Let's see. They probably don't need a linebacker. The defensive line looks fine, even though we know it isn't. The secondary looks fine, even though we know it isn't.
Probably need a receiver. You know, just have
Oh, wow. Yeah. They could use another one of those. Wow.
They did have a good tight end the year that they made the Super Bowl. Who was that?
They just signed Gesicki up too, though.
Yeah.
Wow, not really sold on him.
Not at all.
Okay, wow.
You know
Kind of a
what?
bust.
Wow.
They're gonna
Very big and athletic, though.
go get their Joe Mixon replacement. Say, sorry, Chase Brown, you're no longer a starter. We got
Wow.
Omarion Hampton.
Wow. Okay. Man, that would be the most Bengals move right there. Just like we really desperately need defense more than any team in the league. Offense it is. Running back, come on down. Seattle Seahawks up now. Is Shedeur still available?
No.
No, he's gone. Oh, yeah, to the Falcons.
Yeah.
Or no, to the 49ers.
Yeah. That's right.
The Seahawks are going to go, let's say, I don't know anything about where Mike Green's going to go. He's obviously extremely talented, but there's some off-field issues. I'll just say he goes here.
Okay. That leaves me with the Bucks.
Yep.
What pick
One-
number are we at?
19.
Okay.
One before the Broncos.
That's what I thought. The Bucks go with Nick Emanwari out of South Carolina.
We would have talked about him a lot if the Broncos didn't sign Talanoa Hufanga.
Yes.
Yep. Now they have so many safeties because they wouldn't sign Sam Franklin too. So now they've got just safeties. Oh, we can say ass. They've got safeties out the ass.
Wow. All right, the Broncos are on the board.
Thought I was gonna have to come up with another word.
All right, let's just set the scene here. Colston Loveland
Yeah.
is available.
Emeka
Emeka
Egbuka.
Buka is available.
Luther Burden. Kenneth Grant.
Travion Henderson.
Yep. Let's
about
see.
it.
Jihad Campbell in terms of like
True.
first round picks.
James Pierce Jr.
James Pierce Jr., Kenneth Grant.
Best edge in the draft.
I made a top 10 bet for him too.
Oh.
Yeah.
See,
Wow.
I'd say top 10 career in the
Oh.
draft, but not
Okay.
top 10.
What are the odds for that, by the way?
I would have to pull
It's
it up.
okay. Don't pull it up.
Okay, no, worth it.
You got an important decision to make right
You
now.
do.
I do. It's Colston Loveland.
Ooh. You know what?
I think that's what they would do too, Henry.
The last 2 days, I don't know why, I've just changed my tune on
You've
this.
fallen in love.
Oh.
Like when you said that just now, I got a little burst of excitement.
Wow.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that would be sweet. And again, it just goes back to like, if they did this, it's all part of this master plan that Sean Payton has in his head. And you just have to be excited about that. And you're just imagining all of these mismatches that he believes he's now going to be able to create.
Yep.
There's no teams that, if Colston Loveland hits, there's no teams that could match up size-wise with Cortland Sutton, Colston Loveland, and Evan Ingram on any given down.
No, it'd be a nightmare. And just the mismatches that you would be able to get, because remember, Evan Ingram can easily play outside as well. So you could easily have a package, not even a package, probably something that's in part of every of one of your offenses where it's Cortland Sutton on the outside, Evan Ingram on the outside, and then Colston Loveland on the inside. That is just so dangerous.
Yeah.
And then plus 2 tight end sets as well.
Who needs wide receivers?
Yeah. When you have wide receivers that just look like tight ends. I would like it.
Yep. It might be a bit of a stretch just because the odds say it's plus 300 for him to go 18 or later. But,
Wow.
I mean, in that case, you're taking advantage of the board.
So then saying what you said, guys, and Ryan specifically, you liking him, are you more open to the idea of trading what'd you say? It was plus 18 or plus 300 for after 18?
Yep,
We're
18
trading
or
a
later.
third round pick to move up to 15 and get him? Or to move up wherever that gets you, third round pick?
Prefer to be next year's third.
Okay, yeah, always. Well, that's what Sean does. He kicks
Yeah.
can down the road. So yeah.
I just really like picks. It's just hard to give them up unless it's,
Well, because now I want to draft a running back with like second and third round.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
All
would
right.
start. Yeah.
How are you
Jeanty,
feeling about it?
It's good. It's a good, smart, solid pick.
What about Henderson? How much did you consider that?
I would say that's not good or smart or solid, but it'd be way more fun. I think that value-wise is probably not nearly as good of a decision. It'd be irresponsible, but irresponsible in a way that could be really fun.
I think if you wait till 20, you can draft anyone, and it's responsible. I think
Cam
Travion
Scatterbo?
Henderson at 20. That would be a decision.
50-1 if you want top 10.
Top
51 for
10,
top
bro.
10?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I like
You
these
bet
top
it?
10. No, I didn't do
Oh,
it.
okay, good.
No.
Whew, that would have been crazy.
James Pierce was 25-1.
So I think when we've done this, we've had Travion Henderson, we've had Colston Loveland, and we've had Emeka Egbuka, I believe, right?
Yep.
So all offensive guys, all skill position guys. Do we still feel comfortable with like maybe one of those three?
I feel comfortable with all three.
I do too.
And I just keep coming back to this trade up idea and just how much better I would feel about the team if they got Ashton Jeanty or
Exactly.
Travis Hunter, obviously much more of a pipe dream. But like what you're getting here is strong players who should be a really good fit. And that's just, it barely moves the needle.
Yep.
But sometimes that's how you build a good team.
You can't expect to move the needle from 20
Right.
in most drafts.
Yep.
Now you can definitely hit on a guy, and maybe once every 10 years there's a
happened
player
before.
at 20 who changes the franchise.
Maybe we should look through some 20th overall picks.
No fan.
Yeah,
So,
and then
yeah.
the others too.
Didn't do that. But that's why the trade up is so enticing to me, and that's why I think they said the 10 to 20 about the same type of players, because they know that you can get into the top 10 and get a franchise changer, and then
Yeah.
after that there's not a lot left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really good point. All right, before we get out of here, let's hit some super chats that we've got. And again, if you'd hit us with a thumbs up, we would really appreciate. Actually, we got more shout outs to give on this show.
Oh.
The draft was just
Let's
flying
get
by.
shouting.
I gotta give a shout out to the Ball Knowers bonus
Yes.
over at DNVR. Our friends actually right here at DNVR. The Ball
It keeps
Knowers
getting easier, right?
Yeah,
It
it does.
feels like everyone thinks Travis Hunter to the
Yeah.
Browns at 2.
And so that's
It's a
what we're
lot.
doing over at thednvr.com. When you buy merch over $25 or more, you get to choose. After you click the link in our chat or in our show notes, you get to choose. Is Travis Hunter going 1 or 2, or is he going after 2 in the draft? If you are right on that after draft day, we're going to send you a gift card for however much you paid for your merch. So you just doubling your money right there over at DNVR. And hey, we're all taking option 1, which is he's going 1 or 2 in the draft. It's easy as that. But the one key thing with this is you have to click the link in our chat or a show notes in order to get the Ball Knowers bonus. And you have nothing to lose. So before the draft, click that link, and if you think he's going to be Travis Hunter is going to go 1 or 2, choose that. You're going to double your money over at our merch store.
And shout out to Toyota as well. Some would say they are the ultimate ball knowers. Me, I would say that. They know ball. Yeah, you've got, let's see, Toyota. I rode in a Toyota. I didn't drive that one. I was driving the other truck. But I did get to ride in a Toyota Tundra. My first time ever in a Toyota Tundra. And I didn't realize how cool they are. Like, you get inside and it's like you feel like you're going on a journey. Like, you
Yeah,
feel like you
it's
should
like
be
a
driving
rocket
around
ship.
the Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's all like rugged, but also like clean and smooth. Toyota, the best stuff out there. Also, it was a new one. Cars just keep getting better.
Oh, yeah.
It's something people don't really talk about.
Famously.
Yeah, but like you look on the inside and it's like all the different screens, all the different like it's
Gadgets.
ridiculous. Just everywhere you look, it's another gadget.
Yep.
Toyota's the best. If you want, you can enter now for a chance to win playoff tickets, a private suite experience for you and your friends, flyaway adventure for a Nuggets playoff game on the road, or a chance to drive away in an all-new epic 2025 Toyota 4Runner. Link is in our description. Do not miss the opportunity to be a part of the Denver Nuggets playoff frenzy. Drive to the playoffs with your Front Range Toyota stores, Auto Nation Arapahoe in Toyota Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Inglewood, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of the NFL, official automotive partner of the NFL, and an official sponsor of DNVR.
The Twitter chat's popping off. If you're in there, hit us with the thumbs up. We really appreciate it. If you're watching after, still hit us with the thumbs up. We really appreciate it. And let's hit some super chats from the people that have tuned in and chimed into our chat. We really appreciate it. Evan, who says, Schefter said the Panthers are looking to trade back if we want Jeanty or Warren, our 20th, the second round pick, and a 2026 second for Carolina's 8th, 114th, and 146 is a no-brainer.
Yes.
Do those terms add up, Henry?
Lot of numbers there. I'm down, though.
Yeah. It ended with the Broncos having Ashton Jeanty.
Yep.
The numbers don't really matter all
like
that much to me.
somebody said in the chat, like they're at peace with Colston Loveland. And that's how I feel with a lot of those guys, where it's like, you know what? I'm at peace. If you wind up with Ashton Jeanty, I'm going to cry.
Wow.
You know, like there's just a level there where it's like, do what it takes.
Would you do this for Tyler Warren? So a future second and next year's third. Or not a future second, this year's second and next year's third.
I would not.
Okay.
I also probably would not. But when the deal's sitting right there and Genty's off the board, who knows? Maybe I panic and pull the trigger.
Fair. Robert says...
Love a panic pick.
Yeah, that's why
Shout
I
out
can't
Bradley
GM.
Chubb.
Yeah, don't love panic
That's
picks.
that's why I didn't do
No.
fantasy football anymore.
Oh, by the way, the Broncos are doing mock drafts this week. Oh, really quick, we're going to continue this conversation over at thednvr.com in overtime. So make sure to go to thednvr.com and watch the rest of this show in overtime. The Broncos are doing their mock drafts this week. That's what they do once their board is set. They go through a bunch of mock drafts. Let's just hope they have some scenario where like the top 20 players fall to them at 20, just so they're prepared.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I would just suggest they should invite one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we get crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just bring some little outside perspective,
yeah,
have some
yeah.
fun.
They've probably just been too boxed in their own little box over the past month.
Yeah.
I'd bring some Coors Lights.
I mean, we would make it exponentially more fun.
We would.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Would be fun.
Our mock drafts have been a little chalky, though, I'll say.
What?
Our mock drafts.
I would look forward to Mike Kliss's report about the food that we brought to the draft.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
What would it be?
Probably like a smattering of options from the DNVR bar.
Yeah. Some Raisin Canes.
Henry had a Ralphie last night.
Phew.
It looked so
It
unbelievably
was
good.
so good.
I'm so hungry.
And it's one
too.
of those where it's the big chicken sandwich, but the chicken is so much wider than the bun.
Yeah.
So you have to start by like eating around the
That's
edges
the
to like make
best.
it.
And then it just had like the melted blue cheese on it.
yeah.
We got to stop.
It was looking unbelievable.
We gotta
I'm-
stop.
I'm not
Wow.
gonna-
What
I'm
time's the
not
bar
gonna-
open today?
3 probably.
yeah.
Oh, Draft Pod 3:15.
Oh, there you go. No Nuggets or
Pound it real
Avs today. Tomorrow Avs. Thursday night Nuggets, though. All right. Next one from Robert Potts, who says, Matthew Golden isn't worth a trade-up, in my opinion. Hype is too high for a guy who really only has a high season end and not much else. Too boom or bust of a pick.
Yeah, but you just trust that Sean Payton would know what to do with him.
And that's why, yeah, there's so much trust in Sean with this pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember a member of the Broncos organization that I trusted as much as I now trust Sean Payton.
Wow.
From a football standpoint.
Oh, okay. I was okay.
I kind of agree with you.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Like, if Gary Kubiak wanted a running back, I would trust that really heavily.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
obviously Mike Shanahan back in the day, but Sean Payton has such a clear plan for everything that he wants to do. It's like, if he drafts this guy, I just know that he's doing it for a very good reason.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yep. Harold Sanchez says, love the show, fellas. Excited for this draft. I will be there with you guys. Bring in
good.
my pops and my 2 younger brothers. Pretty open
some pops for
to
me.
whichever pick. Love that, Harold. It's going to be awesome to see you and the crew down there. And again, if you want to get tickets, go to thednvr.com/events. The more, the merrier. It's going to be a blast. So make sure that you are down there. And final one from Elijah Cook, who says, Tez Johnson will look for the Broncos in the later rounds.
A lock.
A lock for the Broncos in the later rounds. Seems like a lot of people are or us to the draft, but haven't heard any news on him.
I think it's what he's saying is a lot of people want the Broncos to draft Tez Johnson because of the Bo Nix relationship, but there hasn't been a lot on him.
Yeah.
His name pretty much stopped getting brought up when he ran slow at the combine, which means the Broncos could get him late in the draft. To me, if that's what Bo wants, that's what Bo gets.
Broncos have 3 6th-round picks. I would easily use one of them on that.
Sometimes when you draft guys in the 6th round, it doesn't work out though. How comfortable are you cutting Bo's brother in a couple of years?
You gave him a chance.
Because that's why I would personally probably just kind of stay away. Although I do really like him. I see the Bo thing as kind of more of a.
Didn't the Bucks
I just would stay away.
let go of Thanasis? I don't think he's on their roster anymore.
Yeah, after like 7 years of having the worst player in the NBA.
I'm just saying, with 7 years, yeah, you can keep in the way that the NFL is currently constructed. You can keep guys around
Just
for a long time.
put him on the
pretty
practice
easily.
squad
Yeah.
forever. Supposed to keep paying your brother. I just wouldn't draft him. I'd just go a different route.
To me, this is not a Thanasis level player.
I don't think it
With
is.
all due respect to Thanasis, whose game I know nothing about.
Oh, he's
It doesn't
bad.
sound like there's much
He's
respect.
really bad.
I think Tez Johnson's actually good and has a potential to make plays in this league.
Me too. But I think that that's true of a lot of other receivers as well. Like if you like him so much that you're willing to take him on like day 2 or like early day 3, then sure, roll the dice. But if you're looking at him as like 5th, 6th round pick, personally I'd just go elsewhere because again, I don't want to cut Bo's brother in 2 years
No,
when there's
Bo understands.
Yeah, definitely, but like you could just avoid it in the first place.
But then you're also offending Bo by not drafting his brother when he's there in the 6th round.
I mean, you're one of 32 teams. I don't think he's going to be offended if you don't draft his brother.
I wouldn't be worried about that. I do think there's a chance that Tez is drafted by the Broncos. I still wouldn't expect the Broncos to go wide receiver early in the draft, but I do think they're going to take a wide receiver or 2 in this draft. Torrey Horton fits the Broncos extremely well with his route running ability, and Tez, I mean, just that big time playmaker ability, that's what he brings as well.
Yeah.
So I definitely think there's an option there, and we'll see. We are one more show away from the draft on Thursday night.
I have a quick take that I just don't want to forget to have before whenever he gets drafted. Don't let Cam Scatterboo go to a really good team.
Would agree. Yep.
Again, the comp there is maybe like CJ Anderson, who is an undrafted running back, but boy, could CJ Anderson provide a lot of things.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I see.
And to me, he's better than that.
You think so?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. He might have just a bit more juice.
And just, I mean, he just does everything. He does everything well. He literally was their punter sometimes.
That's crazy. That is wild.
I'm a Scatterboo guy. I'm a Scattaboy, as they say.
I like
Shout out to
Scatterboos
the
as
Scatter
well.
Boys.
Yeah.
Your Scatterboys will be
Make the
back
shirt.
tomorrow, 11 a.m. For our final predictions and what we're hearing. Stay tuned. We look forward to the show tomorrow. Have a terrific Tuesday.
We all silly like the mayor.